Learning objectives. Determine if an incident is theft. An incident is determined to be theft when a person knowingly obtains or uses or attempts to obtain or use the property of another with intent to temporarily or permanently deprive the victim of the right to or benefit from the property or to appropriate it for unauthorized use. Determine if an incident is obtaining food or lodging with the intent to defraud. Under Chapter 509 of the Florida State Statutes, this offense occurs when a person orders and eats a meal in a restaurant or occupies a room in a public lodging establishment and subsequently refuses to pay. Describe how to respond to a theft. When responding to a theft, officers should contact the complainant or loss prevention staff to obtain verbal and official witness statements to determine if a crime occurred. Officers must check for surveillance video, determine if the suspect is still on scene, and obtain a suspect statement before making an arrest if applicable. Stolen items should be photographed before being returned, and a receipt or itemized list must be obtained to document property value. Officers should notify supervisors for arrest or extra resource needs. Call for backup if the suspect is belligerent. Request dispatch to issue a bolo if the suspect flees, and brief any responding detectives. Determine if an incident is retail theft. Retail theft occurs when an individual or group takes merchandise or money, alters price tags, transfers merchandise containers, or steals shopping carts to deprive a merchant of value. Officers may arrest a suspect for retail theft without a warrant if the offense was not committed in the officer's presence. Describe how to respond to a motor vehicle theft. Officers responding to a stolen vehicle call should ask the victim for a detailed vehicle description, parking location, key status, and family key access. The scene should be checked for broken glass, drag marks, or exterior surveillance footage, and dispatch should be contacted to check reposition tow logs. Officers should query David for vehicle information, activate tracking devices if available, and request dispatch to issue a bolo and enter the license plate, VIN, and vehicle details into FCIC, NCIC. Officers must also verify whether civil issues such as domestic disputes or borrowing are involved. Describe how to respond to an incident involving recovering a stolen vehicle. Officers should inspect the recovered vehicle for physical indicators of theft, such as broken side windows, damaged door locks, or punched ignitions and steering columns. Verification of the vehicle must be made using the VIN on the dashboard or door jamb, license plate, engine number, or hidden component numbers. Once verified, dispatch must be notified so the stolen status can be removed from FCIC, NCIC, and the vehicle owner can be informed. Describe how to respond to a stolen property incident. Officers must document that the suspect trafficked or attempted to traffic in property they knew or should have known was stolen. If the stolen property is located in a pawn shop, officers should place a hold on the item or seize it as evidence. Officers should also obtain suspect details, video surveillance, and transaction thumbprints from pawn shop personnel. Determine if an incident is dealing in stolen property. Dealing in stolen property occurs when a person sells, transfers, distributes, or otherwise disposes of stolen property while knowing or having reason to know that the property is stolen. Determine if an incident is criminal mischief. An incident is criminal mischief when a suspect willfully and maliciously injures or damages real or personal property that belongs to the complainant. Describe statutory enhancements associated with criminal mischief. Criminal mischief is a second-degree misdemeanor if damage is under $200. A first-degree misdemeanor if damage is between $200 and $1,000. And a third-degree felony if damage is $1,000 or more. Subsequent offenses are reclassified as felonies regardless of damage amount if the suspect has prior convictions. Willfully damaging a place of worship or religious article is a third-degree felony if the damage exceeds $200. Determine if an incident is trespassing. Trespassing occurs when a person willfully enters or remains in a structure, conveyance, or property without authorization, license, or invitation, or remains after being ordered to depart or in violation of posted notices. Describe additional types of trespassing based on the location and intent. Misdemeanor trespassing includes disregarding posted notices, entering or remaining with intent to commit an offense, remaining after a law enforcement warning, refusal by transient occupants to leave residential property, unauthorized presence on school grounds, or suspended students returning to campus. Felony trespassing includes trespassing on posted commercial horticulture property, posted agricultural research or chemical sites, posted domestic violence shelters, posted construction sites, posted operational areas of an airport with intent to injure or damage, carrying a firearm or weapon on school property, or launching a projectile across land to take or kill animals. Describe how to respond to trespassing. Officers should interview the complainant, owner or authorized agent, witnesses, and suspect. They must verify and photograph any posted no trespassing signs or confirm existing written trespass agreements while ensuring the incident occurred within their proper jurisdiction. Determine if an incident is burglary. Burglary is determined when a suspect unlawfully enters a structure or conveyance without invitation or license, and while not open to the public, with the explicit intent to commit a crime inside. Differentiate between trespassing, burglary, and criminal mischief. Trespassing is simply being on property without permission. Burglary involves being on property without permission, combined with the intent to commit another crime inside. Criminal mischief involves property damage. Entry damage caused during a burglary is generally subsumed under burglary, but intentional vandalism inside the premises permits an additional criminal mischief charge. Describe statutory enhancements associated with burglary. Burglary penalties are enhanced if the suspect commits assault or battery, is armed, uses a vehicle to cause damage, causes more than $1,000 in property damage, or enters a dwelling structure or conveyance that is occupied at the time. Determine if an incident involves possession of burglary tools. The charge applies when a suspect possesses a tool, machine, or implement with the specific intent to use it to commit a trespass or burglary. Describe how to respond to a burglary. For a burglary in progress, officers must notify their supervisor, request backup, establish a perimeter, and request necessary resources. For a delayed burglary, officers should interview the victim, establish a timeline, conduct a walkthrough to locate entry and exit points, issue a BOLO if recent suspect descriptions exist, and either process the scene or initiate a crime scene log for responding detectives. Describe how to respond to a violation of an archaeological site. Officers should assess and secure the scene, notify a supervisor, and inform local, state, or federal park rangers. Walking on an archaeological site and removing an object is a misdemeanor, whereas digging into a site to retrieve an object is a felony. Describe the different types of fraud. Common forms of fraud include credit card fraud, bank fraud, cashing fraudulent checks, and an identity theft. Differentiate between forgery and uttering. Forgery is the act of altering, forging, or counterfeiting a public record or legal document with the intent to defraud. Uttering is the act of knowingly exhibiting, publishing, or attempting to cash a forged document or check while claiming it is authentic. Describe how to respond to a fraudulent check incident. Officers should verify if the suspect is on scene and obtain suspect and vehicle descriptions. If the suspect has fled, officers must collect and photograph the check as evidence, interview witnesses, view surveillance footage, issue a BOLO if applicable, confirm the victim's intent to prosecute, and document the investigation. Determine if an incident is credit card fraud. Credit card fraud occurs when a person unlawfully uses a credit card, card number, or skimming device to obtain property, goods, or services without authorization. Describe how to respond to credit card fraud. Officers should confirm if the victim still has the card and record the card number and expiration date. They should explain that an incident report will provide a case number for financial institutions. Advise the victim to place holds on accounts and notify credit bureaus, and provide fraud prevention materials. Determine if an incident involves a telephone scam. A telephone scam involves phone or digital solicitors misrepresenting themselves as banks, government agencies, or relatives while threatening arrest or demanding bail money for fictitious debts. Determine if an incident involves phishing. Phishing involves sending fake digital communications designed to mirror legitimate businesses in order to deceive victims into revealing personal and financial information. To describe the information used in identity theft. Identity theft involves using another person's identifying information to fraudulently apply for credit, loans, or services, take over accounts, or commit crimes.